Excellent. Hey guys, I'm Kevin Moot. I'm a senior developer at the Nerdery, and I put together something for you to show today called TasteMapper. So what is TasteMapper? TasteMapper is basically an artist visualization tool, and what we're actually showing here is correlations between different musical artists using real data mined from Last.fm. So it's kind of an interesting little experiment here that we put together. I actually did this kind of part-time on my own time with the backing of the Nerdery's Nerdery Lab program. So basically what I can look at here is, what I'm seeing here is the Beatles in the middle, and I'm looking at all of the related artists. So I can see that, 61% of listeners to the Beatles also have Radiohead in their library. I can go ahead and navigate to that one, and then I can see another kind of node off of this, where I can now see that Coldplay is 60%, and I might want to look a little bit farther away and say David Bowie is 44% related. And this allows us to actually see some really interesting relationship and correlations between different artists. So, for instance, Radiohead just happens to be very, very closely related to David Bowie as well as the Beatles. So it's kind of just a little fun project that we put together. I'll tell you a little bit more about the process that we went through. Number one, we had to mine the data. Number two, we had to basically analyze the data. And number three, we had to put it all together into a visualization. So number one, we had to find a really good data source. It's actually really hard to find a good data source of public music information that's consistent and is really good data. Luckily enough, we found that Last.fm had a pretty good developer API to download this information. So we used that along with screen scraping to download about 500,000 users worth of data. I had a .NET process running for about, I think about 4 weeks solid. And that downloaded 1 million records of tracks in people's libraries. And basically, once we had that data, we could go and analyze it. That's not even the surface of it. There's about 5 million users in Last.fm, so we're continuing to gather it all in. So what do you do with that data once you have it? We actually just ran some calculations on it to kind of get some numerical correlations here, which actually wasn't that hard. The hard part was actually defining and categorizing all of this data. What you can see here is the colors of the nodes actually represent the genre of the artist. The distance from the middle represents the correlation, and the size of the circle represents the overall popularity of that artist in terms of number of unique listeners. So what was really hard to do was categorize these in terms of genres, actually, because Last.fm has this really unique tagging system. And what people can do is just tag an artist or a song with any tag they want to. I could call it rock, pop, blues, it doesn't mean it's true. But Last.fm tells us about the most popular tags. So we managed to derive all of the genres we see here based on that information. We actually found some really funny ones when we were looking through this. We found Russian funeral doom as a musical genre, and we found vegetarian progressive grindcore. That's pretty interesting. So we had to have some smarts in there to categorize that as something. And actually the red nodes you see in here are more like pop and more electronic type. Blue is kind of just your rock and your heavy metal. Green is kind of your folk music or classical. So we kind of really hit all the bases here. I mean, you can even look up
Hanson.
There's Ludwig van Beethoven. You can see, well, sure enough, there's the Beatles again. And you can also see he's very closely correlated to Mozart. And you can kind of go down there. It looks like Last.fm users aren't huge classical fans there, but I don't know if that's representative of the world as a whole or just that subset of data. Yeah, so this is pretty cool. Can you guys name out an artist you want me to look up here?
Hanson.
Let's do Hanson. Persistent. How do you spell Hanson?
O-N.
Hanson. Let's do Hanson. Okay, here's Hanson. This one's actually pretty cluttered. Foo Fighters seem to be very highly correlated with Hanson here, for whatever reason. with some different outliers, but they generally seem to be kind of a similar set. We also have a little detail screen. You can pop open some information. It would just show you the image and description taken straight from Last.fm as well. So yeah, this was a really fun thing to put together. And another thing is that when we actually looked at all this and came to some conclusions, we found that it's not really about similarity and is it the same genre, is it a similar artist? It's more about popularity as a whole. Just the fact that Foo Fighters, the Beatles are very popular bands. They ended up showing up as being very closely correlated with almost everything. Coldplay, everyone listens to Coldplay. It's connected to everything. I can't go to one node on here and not see Coldplay. So that's another thing we learned. But now that we have all of this data, there's like lots of unique things that we can do with it. This is only the tip of the iceberg. We have a lot more plans as far as exploring the data, showing other statistical analyses. So keep looking for it. It's at tastemapper.nerderylabs.com. And I'm really grateful to have the chance to show it to you guys today. So thank you.